This is Inside Toombs County Football with Toombs County Schools. I'm here with Toombs County High School head coach Richie Marsh. And Coach Marsh, thanks for being back with us again this week to discuss everything going on with Toombs County Football. So we're getting ready for our first regular season game this week. We have Long County. We'll be back in the pit. We had a scrimmage game last week at home against Benedictine. So first off, the big thing last Friday had a 2-hour lightning delay. Got out there, got everybody warmed up, had to go back in the locker room, had to stay there for 2 hours and then come back and get everybody warmed up again. So can you talk a little bit about what goes into that from a coaching perspective, getting ready to play, having to wait, and then getting ready to play again?
Well, I think you can, in the past, there's no certain way to deal with that. I mean, you're not going to get it right. You're going to make some mistakes. Seems like every delay is a new delay. That was a long delay. Thank God we had a place a locker room that was big enough for our team to kind of spread out. Sometimes that's not the case. So being at home made that delay a little easier. Benedictine, they were comfortable in their spot too. But just having to wait that thing out as long as we did, it wasn't a perfect situation, but it helped us in that we were able to get the game in. We needed those reps. We needed to get that stuff on film and find out our problems, and that's what we accomplished. And I mean, if the game got over late, maybe that didn't work well for the guys that are playing both ways, because that could be a tiring night. We could steal some of their energy, fighting those delays. So that may have hurt us a little bit there, but other than that, we were able to accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Now, we didn't play as good as we would have liked to play, but we know our problems, and we were able to go back and work on this week.
Sounds good. In film study this week, what were a couple of things that stood out to you that were positives, and what are a couple of things that you guys have been working on at practice this week?
Well, some of the positives were the fact that some of our older kids that we knew were going to do well, did well. Was really proud of the way Tank played that game, and really pushing him to step up. Really think he did. We were able to move the ball in our 31 personnel late in the game. That's a big thing for us, running the option. Kane did well with that. The offensive line, I think, really came in their own. Brock Nobles, he did well. And don't want to call out too many names for that I may miss some. Like Akeem Holland was running around hitting people all night. So we had some guys that did some good things that we were kind of expecting that out of. And then, Augustus Underwood really did. I thought he really came along at offensive line. And if we could just continue to make those top strides with each player, and I think each player's heart's right to make them, that's a big thing. We didn't have anybody. We were able to go into dog check Monday, talk about our problems, and 90% of the players knew the problems that they needed to fix. So that was huge, because when they know that, they're willing to discuss it. Their heart's right. And if their heart's right, you can make the gains that you need to make. And I'm just thankful that we got the kids that we got here, the community that we got here, that we can try to go out there and try to get better every day. It's not, it's not miserable trying to get better. It's actually a joy trying to get better, and they have really worked hard for us in doing that.
Looking forward to this Friday. We have Long County coming into the pit. They're not a traditional football power, but they will be tough and ready to play. I don't know if we have any film from them this week because it's the first game, but can you give us a bit of an outlook on this Friday?
Yeah, we do have film. We were able to go watch them live also. They played at Jamboree 2 weeks ago on a Thursday night. On a Friday night. We were able to watch that. They beat McIntosh 14-0 in a quarter, and they beat Warren County 14-0 in a quarter. Now, both of those teams are really good single-A teams. Warren was in the Final Four last year, and so Long County had the best year they've had in the history of their school that I know of last year. They may have had a better year, but they've been bad for so long, and they got a new coach, and he's done a really, really good job running that T-back field, and Things really got those kids believing, so they were in the playoffs last year also. Got a lot of kids back from that team, and so we have been able to see them on film. They got a guy fullbacks, a 2,000-yard rusher. He's special. We've got to stop him. And then defensively, they do so well of getting to the ball. Really do a really, really good job of getting to the ball. So we got our work cut out for us for the first game. It's going to be a tough test. But we've known that, since we started looking at them on film and seeing that, wow, this team's much, much, much improved. So our kids will be up for the test, and it'll be a great, opening test for us. It's going to cause us to get better.
Well, also looking forward to this Friday. Some off the field things happening that are exciting. Coach Jacky Jones, that was the head coach here from 1969 until we swapped over to Toombs County High School in 1987. He was the first coach at Toombs County High School, won a state championship in 1975. But we'll be renaming the playing surface Jacky Jones Field over at the pit, which is really exciting for everyone in Toombs County that knows him and knows our history. But can you speak a little bit on how important it is for our kids here at the high school to understand that history and where we've come from, and then our history with Coach Stroud in the 90s and 2000s that we discussed a little bit last week, and everything, and how that plays into the Toombs County pride, and how excited our players are on Friday night to don our colors and to have those flying T's on the helmet.
Tyler, I was blessed when I grew up. I wasn't a very good athlete. But I love football, so I was on the teams, and we had great, great tradition where Coach Martin and I came from, in the town that I grew up in. And we had some coaches that had been there a long time. Coach Murphy was our middle school coach, and we called it Murphy ball. And then Coach Quinn, when he did that, he retired at Bartow High School. He's the winningest coach in Florida history. So we were able to be a part of something special there, and I'll never forget that. And there's a sense of pride about that has stuck with me since I have graduated, and it'll never leave. I had the opportunity to go back there and coach there, and that's all I thought about was that tradition, and how important it was to do our best if you were going to put on that Bartow helmet. Here, that we've had storied tradition, and I don't know Coach Jones well. I've talked to him a couple times. And every time I'm around him, he inspires me in the fact that, there were some good years here when they were here. Obviously, they had won a state championship, the only state championship of our school. So that's big. And anytime I think that a school has a tradition to hold on to, I think you need to embrace that. You need to build upon it every way you can. You need to remind the kids of it. You need to tell them stories about it, because pride, or the heart to do well, the heart to do something good for someone else other than yourself, your community. To me, that's the difference between good and great. When you're doing it for someone else and you're not just doing it for yourself. And we have a tradition here that Coach Jones was a huge part of for so long that we need to do a good job. We need to try to be excellent in everything we do. And then when Coach Stroud came here, those late 90s and early 2000s, you hear about it every day in this community, and this should be that way. That was a time everybody was really, really proud of, and we need another time like that. And and embracing that of the past, embracing that tradition of the past you spoke of, is what can help us make a tradition now. These kids need to be a part of that. They need to be talking about it when they're older, and they need to be proud of it. It's awesome to be proud of. It's awesome to be proud of something that you were a part of, and that's what we're doing. We're celebrating Coach Jones and those guys that played then. We're celebrating their tradition and their storied careers here, and that's why they're naming the field after him. And I think it's well deserved.
I agree completely. I'm very excited for Coach Jones and his family. I'm excited for us that we can continue to celebrate this tradition here at Toombs County, and I'm excited for what's to come. So I appreciate you coming on with us this week. We'll get back together and we'll discuss Friday night. But we got Long County in the pit Friday night at Jacky Jones Field at Booster Stadium, 8 o'clock. So come out and support the football team. And we'll see you next time on Inside Toombs County Football with Toombs County Schools.
Sick 'em, dogs!